Everything you need to get set for investing in the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange this week, straight from the city of Dar es Salaam. Good morning, everyone. This is A Trader DSE Weekly Update. We appreciate your tuning in. We really do. Now let's get straight into it. Let's start with the most liquid shares. Now, these shares were the easiest to buy and sell last week, and they include the following. At number 1, we have CRDB Bank, accounting for 46% of the total volume traded for the week. At number 2, we have TBL, Tanzania Breweries Limited, accounting for 29% of the total volume traded for the week. And finally, at number 3, we have the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange, accounting for 5% of the total volume traded for the week. Now, last week, the all-share index closed at 1,890.84 on Friday, which is a 0.40 decrease compared to 1,898.38 on Monday. Now, this fall was mainly contributed by the fall in share prices, especially from companies in the industrial and allied sector, of which we shall look into shortly. Now, starting with the bank's finance and investment sector, Nicole and DSE have gone up by 4.55 and 2.11% respectively. The reason behind the rise in share prices might be due to the fact that they are well-performing companies that have been making profits and paying out dividends year on year, and investors seem to be ready to pay a premium for that performance, knowing that they will receive in the long run what will be worth the company. Now, we also had some movement in other sectors like the industrial and allied. And over here, you'll notice that most of the companies have actually fallen in value over last week. Now, the reason behind this might be due to the fact that the people who wanted to buy these shares were less than those who wanted to sell them. And so the sellers had to liquidate their assets at a more discounted price an investor would be willing to pay. And then getting into the commercial services sector, the reason behind Swissport's rise in price could be due to the fact that of the demand that investors have for the company, because right now is the come dividend period where investors who buy shares of these companies will be entitled to receive this year's dividend payments. Hence, investors are willing to pay a premium for the company's shares to get that juicy dividend. Now, for more information about this particular dividend, stay tuned for company news. All right, guys, let's get into company news. Now, starting with Swissport Plc. Now, they released their dividend declaration notice as of last week, where the 29.8 shilling dividend per share was approved by shareholders during an annual general meeting. And the notice had revealed that investors who buy Swissport shares until the 14th of June, guys, save the date, are eligible to receive the dividend payment, while those who sell their shares during this period will not get any dividend, and this period is known as the come dividend period. While from 15th June onwards, people who buy Swissport shares will not be entitled to the payment of the dividend, and those who sell them will still be entitled to the dividend payment, and this is known as the ex-dividend period. Now, the dividend will be paid from 5th July onwards. Moving on to NMB Bank. On 3rd June 2022, the Blues held their 22nd annual general meeting at the Julius Nyerere International Convention Center located in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Now, where the dividend per share of 193 is to be paid on the 15th June was approved, and this equates to 96 billion Tanzanian shillings, which is a 41% increase from the 2020 dividend per share of 137, where the dividend had actually grown by 201% during the last 5 years, as we can see in this graph over here. The 193 dividend per share offers a dividend yield of 6.3% based on Friday's market price of 3,020 shillings per share. Now, this has been due to consistent, excellent financial performance, which can be shown by the historical earnings per share trend. As we can see, it has grown by 210% during the last 5 years. Now, other highlights from the annual general meeting include shareholders appointing Deloitte as the new external auditor after PricewaterhouseCoopers at an annual fee of 610.65 million Tanzanian shillings, which is a 16% decrease from last year's fee of 732 million paid to PwC, saving the bank at least 121.35 million in audit fees. We also have the annual director's fees for the chairman had increased by 48.3% from 20.2 million to 30 million. Members' fees has also increased by 26.9% from 18.9 million to 24 million, while sitting allowances had increased by 41%, from 4.3 million per meeting to 6 million. Now check out our website for more information, and the website will be shown right here on the screen.
Alright, let us move on to Treasury bond trading. As you can see from these tables, the old 25-year Treasury bonds with coupon rates of 15.49% were traded at extremely expensive prices. The reason why they were transacted at these extreme premium prices is because most investors prioritize high cash flow returns over the overall profitability of the bond, which is the reason why they are willing to purchase these bonds at very expensive prices, even if it means them receiving a capital loss. The purchase of these bonds above in turn led to these yield trends. These yields are profits that bondholders get if they hold these bonds at a certain market price. The lower the price you buy a bond for, the higher the yield a bondholder gets, and vice versa. From these yield trades, we can see that purchasing these treasury bonds at very high prices can lead to investors making less of a profit, that is, interest payment plus capital gain or loss. Example, if we look at the transaction that happened on Wednesday, if let's say investor A bought the old 25-year treasury bonds at 1 million Tanzanian shillings and investor B bought the new 25-year treasury bond at the same amount, they would get yields of 11.4313 and 12.1258 respectively. This means that per annum investor A would make a return of 114,313 Tanzanian shillings per annum, while investor B would make a return of 121,258 Tanzanian shillings per annum. Now, mind you that these returns are a combination of both the interest payments and whatever capital gain or loss these investors have made respectively. Despite the fact that investor A had purchased a bond with a higher coupon than investor B, there is a difference of 6,945 shillings per annum between what investor B is making in comparison to that of A, which might not look like much, but if we looked at this difference throughout the entire lifetime of the bond, which is 25 years, we will actually notice that this difference results to 173,625 Tanzanian shillings. So this just shows you that when you're buying a bond, buy a bond at the lowest price possible while maintaining that high coupon. So on the 8th of June, there's going to be an auction for a 15-year treasury bond offering a coupon rate of 11.15% per year, and here are the details. The amount on offer is 123.57 billion Tanzanian shillings. The minimum bid size starts at 1 million Tanzanian shillings, and the last time a bond like this was auctioned was on the 2nd of February. It was oversubscribed by 240 billion Tanzanian shillings. Being oversubscribed means that investors came forth with way more money than the government needed, and this is largely because investors in the DSE prefer to invest in these long-term treasury bonds which offer high interest or coupon rates, such as the 15-year, 20 and 25-year treasury bonds. The absolute minimum price to go through was 112.5115. This was a premium price, as people are willing to pay 12.5115% more than the bond's face value, which is 100. So what do you think? Do you think that these 15-year treasury bonds with these new coupon rates will be traded at such premium prices? Please comment below. So in terms of the upcoming treasury bond auctions, over here we can see the 2 upcoming treasury bond auctions for the rest of the government year. And with that said, thank you for choosing A-Trade as your partner to financial freedom. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms to keep you updated. Don't forget to also check out our website. The link is in the description down below. Have a great week ahead, and karibuni sana.